Hi everyone, it's Susan and otherwise known as the Knitty Stitcher here on YouTube. This is the third episode of my crafting, knitting, other thing vlog. So let me just start by saying I am absolutely ridiculous because I have not been here in well over a month and I apologize for that, but I have good reason. Life has been challenging. On the 21st of July, I was helping my mom, who lives on a third story walk up, take her garbage out because she's 92 and she lives alone. And we don't like her walking up and down the steps. And so we go over and do things like that. I had 3 bags of garbage I was carrying down the steps, and I got to the front door of her condo unit and forgot that there was a step right when you open the door to leave. And so I rolled my ankle. Now, this was particularly awful because 11 years ago, I did the same thing on the same ankle in the same place in my mom's condo, coming down the steps, leaving. I don't know what it is about leaving my mom's condo, but maybe somebody's trying to tell me I shouldn't be leaving my mom's condo. Anyway, I hit the ground. I was on the ground by myself. I couldn't move. When I did fall, my phone fell out of my purse, and luckily it was within reaching range of myself. So I could, at first I called my mom and I said, "Mom, I think I broke my ankle." And she got real flustered and she said, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" And then I said, "Well, just come on down." And then she got confused and thought it was my sister Sherry who called her. So she did come downstairs because I had the 3 bags of garbage laying there with me. It was like 102 degrees Fahrenheit out. I was dying in the heat. The sun was out. And I just wanted to get back into the condo, but I couldn't do it. Anyway, so she comes running down and I said, "Mom," she said, "what happened?" And I said, "I think I broke my ankle." And then she said, "So did Sherry." Because she thought my sister Sherry called her initially. And I said, I had to tell her, "No, Mom, that was me who called. So there's only one of us who have a broken ankle." I didn't know if I had a broken ankle or not. Anyway, I dragged myself up the step and back into the condo so I could get some air conditioning. And then I called my husband and he came and hauled me off to the ER. So initially, well, they took x-rays and they said it was sprained. And to get myself into a boot, the dreaded boot. But a boot is better than crutches. It's better than anything else, honestly. So first they put me in a splint and then said, "Call the doctor and the orthopedic surgeon and get into him as soon as you can." So I did. He didn't take another x-ray. He just looked at it and said, "Get in the boot for 7 to 10 days and then start walking on it." Well, I did that. And by the 10th day, I called him and I just said, "I can't walk on this. I don't know what's going on inside, but it is really, really too painful to walk on." And I'm not a wimp. I can get through pain. But anyway, so long story short, he said, "Come back in." I had an appointment on the 13th. He said, "Wear the boot until you have your next appointment on the 13th. So I went back last week. They did another x-ray. They found that I broke my ankle in the same place that I broke it 11 years ago. And to stay in the boot for at least another week. And then I start physical therapy, which I start Monday, which I absolutely dread because I have memories of that from 11 years ago. And anyway, it's only going to do me good though. So, and I know it's usually only the first day that it's really painful because that's the day they get those knots out of your leg. Oh my God. Anyway, so I'll be all right though. I'll be okay. Oop, baseball scores coming up on my screen. So let's get back to, and then Friday my husband pulled his back, so he's going to the doctor today. We've been like limping around all weekend. We're just a mess. We're a mess in general. So, you know, if you follow me, get used to it. Anyway, everything's okay. Everything is gonna be okay. I was able to start some new adventures in the midst of all this, so that has been fun. But let's get started on my knitting, because I haven't really done too much knitting because of my other adventures, and I'll go into that a little bit later. Okay, so my first work in progress is my Sparkle Sweater by Casapinka. And I'm knitting this with Kid Silk Haze and Knitting for Olive. And I was able to get to, let me show you, the ribbing. So I got down to the ribbing on this. And it's really cute and yummy. The yarn is yummy. So now I just have to pick up for the sleeves and knit the sleeves. I think I'm going to do 3/4 inch sleeves. Here's the problem I'm having with this. I did a try on and it is extremely itchy, and that's what I feared. And I hate the fact that I didn't just use the Knitting for Olive, because I have this beautiful, and I have so many of these in the, I think it's Cloud. Let me get one with a label. I think it's the colorway, Cloud. No, I was wrong. It's Morning Haze. So why didn't I just knit this sweater with this? Why did I put the Kid Silk Haze in? I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear this, to be honest. I think my only solution is to wear a blouse underneath it. I think that's all I can do. So, okay. But anyway, I did get the ribbing done on it. It is cute. It fits good. It's fine. It's just itchy. And I feared that the whole entire time. And I was right to fear it. So, note to self, don't do that anymore. You know, just don't do it. Anyway, so no more Kid Silk Haze for me. I just can't wear it. The next is my porcelain yoke sweater, and I did get a little bit more done, not too much, but I am knitting the bottom, so I am this far down. So I am knitting this. I love this. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And yeah, I keep knitting, and then I'm gonna make this fairly long because I want it to be kind of a yummy, cozy winter sweater. And the color work does go down the sleeves. I think starts here and goes down this far and then ends there. So I have a ways to go. It's just round and round knitting, and you know, that's fine. I'm using Knit Pick Swish and DK Weight in the colorway, it doesn't say, but there is a number, 24312. And then I'm also using the white. So these two, Knit Pick Swish. I'm not sure I'm gonna buy from them again. I'm looking for sources that aren't, you know, big corporate companies. So anyway, so those are my only two whips as far as knitting goes. But okay, so in the midst of all this, there were two things that I wanted to teach myself, or learn, not teach myself, but learn this year in 2026. And one of them was brioche, and the other was spinning. Okay, so I tried brioche, and initially I really enjoyed the process, but I'm the type of person who learns from their mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes knitting brioche, and it was very difficult to fix. So I'm just plugging my battery in here because I'm losing batteries. Go in there. Okay, so anyway, so I um, decided that brioche wasn't for me because the stress of having to fix a problem was too overwhelming for me. I couldn't do it. I tried, but everything looked messy, and then you can't just make it look better. So I just said, you know what, some things, and sometimes I think it's important that we do that. We just say to ourselves, some things just are not meant for me. And I think brioche was one of those things that it just wasn't meant for me. So, but I tried it, so I can check that off my list. Okay, so the next thing was this. I wanted to learn how to spin. And I was very, very excited about it. I've always watched Knitty Natty. And so when she started to spin, I thought that looks like the kind of spinning wheel that I could manage or handle. So I did end up getting the same spinning wheel. I think mine is like a 2.1. I don't know if hers is a 1.1, but anyway, I got this little nano spinner. It's a nano spinner 2.1, and I got it from Dreaming Rainbows off their website, and it's been excellent. I mean, everything about it I love. If I continue to spin, I think I will go up to the 6.1 because it has the bigger bobbins. But I'm really enjoying this. I really am enjoying it. Now, I'm not that great at it. In fact, I have some samples of things that I've spun that I wanted to show you. My first spin was Corriedale, and I got this from the Woolery. And I got two bats, one of green and one of blue. So you can see that there's so many problems with this, with consistency or lack thereof. But it's my very first spin, so I was thrilled with it. I was really, really happy, and I really enjoyed the process. So I was able to get 254 yards out of these two bats together, and of course I spun them and then I plied them together. Everything is so easy on the little nano. So that was my very first spin. I think I might try, look at how big some of these are, but it would be fun to just knit with it and see what happens. There are parts of it that are kind of consistent, like right through here. But again, it was my first time, so I give myself grace for that. So I was thinking about maybe doing a Sophie shawl with this. I don't know if there's going to be enough yarn, but even if there isn't, I can break it up. My second spin, and put something else with it, was, okay, so I placed a big order of all different kinds of wool because I wanted to see which one I liked the best. The second one was Polworth, okay, and I got this from, it's called AJCM Fiberworks. I'll link these down below. Anyway, so this is my second spin. This was Polworth, okay. I think this was a little bit easier to draft than the Corriedale, but neither of them were too difficult. I did have problems with my yarn, with my fiber breaking and then having to reattach it. That has been the biggest challenge so far for spinning. It really has. But anyway, so this is my second spin. I think I got a little bit better, but I still have big giants, it still has problems, that's for sure. But it's a learning curve. So, oh God. And when you wash this, the process is you spin it and then you ply it together and then you wash it. Okay, soak it and wash it and dry it off, and then you thwack it, which is either banging it against, a countertop or something hard, or pulling you know, like snapping the wool as much as you can on each side, like 4 different times. And then you hang it to dry and then you're done. It's a really fun process to see it come together. So yeah, I'm just loving this whole process. It's been so much fun. Isn't that pretty? This fiber, oh, I didn't put the name of that colorway on it. This one was, excuse my big fat face. Oh, I didn't put it on there either, brother. Anyway, so I'm moving on to another fiber. Right now I am in the midst of spinning this. This is, what is this, Targi? My least favorite so far. Yeah, I like the color and everything. This is a spin. This hasn't been plied yet. I'm doing the second one now. As you can see, my fiber broke off, so I do have to reattach it. So I'm gonna be doing that as soon as we hang up. And so I have, let's see, I have Rambouillet to spin and merino wool to spin. So I'm just trying all the different fibers to see which ones I like the best and that are the most fun to spin and kind of like the easiest to spin. So I'm working on that right now. So yeah, this is my spinning journey. If anybody has been curious about it, here's my thoughts on it. It wasn't as difficult or as scary as I thought it was going to be. There's a million videos out there. They're all almost alike as far as what to do. So that made it so much easier for me. I think that my deal is going to be spinning my yarn thin enough to where, you know, it's consistent and it's all good. This is brand new. I got my spinning wheel the day before I broke my ankle. And so the first week I was in so much pain that I didn't even touch it. It was sitting out on the kitchen table and I was like, I don't even have my stomach hurt. I was in so much pain. So then I decided to, hold on one second. Sorry about that. My battery is about to die and I did have to switch the cords to plug my battery in. And it was the same battery I was using for my spinning wheel. So I had to take that plug out and put the new plug in. But anyway, my thoughts again. So yeah, it wasn't nearly as intimidating. It took very little effort to get started. I would highly recommend the Dreaming Robot wheel. I think I paid $139 for this, and it came with, I don't know, 4 or 5 bobbins. But I also bought an extra set of, actually I didn't buy an extra set of bobbins. They sent me one bobbin that had 2 of the same sides to it, so I couldn't use it. And so I wrote to the company and they ended up sending me a whole new set of bobbins instead, because I only asked for that one. I just said, I can't use it, so if you could just replace it. They were so wonderful. And then I got a package in the mail with 4 new bobbins and some extra parts too. So it was really, really nice of them. So highly recommend Dreaming Robots, highly recommend it. And for $139 to start a whole new craft, I just thought it was great. I am just really having a good time. It's really been fun. So yeah, that's my newest hobby. I wish I had more to show you. I was just so excited about coming back and talking to you that, I looked around for all the things, but really I've been spinning more than anything, and that may or may not interest you, but it is kind of fun. Now that I've shown you this, I'm going to go ahead and ball this up and knit something with it, and then next time I come back, which hopefully will be soon, I will show you what I knit. I do have, excuse me, I do have the Sophie shawl in mind. I just hope I have enough yarn to do that. But if I don't, I can always add, I could stripe it, or, just something to use this so I can show it off a little bit. But I'm really excited. And this is, when you thwack this and wash it and thwack it, it really pluffs it up and it's just so squishy. I mean, this is the squishiest yarn I've ever felt. It's really fun to think that I did this from, you know, just a bunch of wool. And this is Targy. This is the wool that I'm using now for, and I mean, this is what it looks like. And, you know, to think that this is the end result, I don't know. It's just kind of fun. It's like when you knit your first sweater, your first whatever, or you make your first cross stitch or whatever it is you decide to do. Anyway, it's just been a lot of fun. So I wanted to share that with you. And I'm also still working on my cross stitch. I'm almost finished with it. Actually, I can grab that right now. Oh gosh, I have no idea what you're seeing. It's nothing scary. But here it is. This is the kind of, not a placemat, but it's gonna be like a little doily type thing to set something on, maybe a candle or something. It's very small, but I have both sides done. This side is rolled around here, but it looks just like this. So now what I'm doing is, there is a lot of, let me show you the part that I've already done right here. There's a lot of back stitching that goes all around these, goes around this. So that's what I'm working on now. I already started with this small section here, but it's gonna take a while. But after that, I just sew this part together, not together, but I will make an edging for this, and then I'm going to pull these on the bottom and make a fringe on each side. It's gonna look lovely. I'm really excited about this. So yeah, I'm almost finished. So yeah, I have that going on. We're getting into my favorite part of the year, which is the fall and October. And so I was thinking about doing a crafting vlog, a daily crafting vlog. I watch so many of them. I watch Sam Rainer, and I really love watching those. And I've been watching Hooked and Happy, Joe at Hooked and Happy podcast. And she does them when she has time off of work, and now she's traveling up in, I think it's Scotland, yeah, to, you know, and she's doing vlogs through that. So I really enjoy those. I really do. Just doing a little bit every time I sit down and craft. I'm probably going to look awful in a lot of them because I just do, I would do them willy-nilly, but I'd like to try that and just see. So I'd like your feedback on it. What do you guys think? Because I do get my hands into a lot of different stuff, and it could be kind of interesting. So I don't know, just rolling around in my head. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know this was a quick one. I'd love to know if anybody's going to be doing the Stephen West MCAL this year. My thoughts on that are, I, you know, don't usually go along and do it. I wait till the end so I can see the end result before I get started, because if I don't like it, I'm not going to make it. And so I count on other people, but I love watching them, watching the MCAL come together, and you know, the vlogs or the blogs or the podcast on those. I love that. So I don't know, we'll see. And I'm just getting excited about Christmas coming and doing some of my Halloween cross stitching that I left undone last year when it got into like January, and I was like, we're done with the season now, I can move on to something else. So yeah, so yeah, let me know in the comments if you're going to be doing the Stephen West MCAL, and you know, I will talk to you next time. So thanks for watching. Bye.